it was just so plentiful here. The eels came up into Whale Cove, which would be, I think it was Eel Brook Reserve at that time, way back when, and they would come up there, and they would come up like a river coming up from the shore, and they'd come into the pond, and then they would just spear them or grab them up. Actually, the last time we went eel hunting, my kids just whipped them out of the brook, and you know, there's not very many. I haven't seen it for years. I was a kid since the last time I saw the big, you know, bunch of that looked like a river going down to the shore, and it's actually eels coming up from the shore to the pond. So, but it was a food-rich place, and it was a safe place, and it was an important place for the Passamaquoddy. No family would have to go hungry here. You could always go clamming, or you could always go, you know, periwinkling, or up the brooks where it used to be full of small salmon and tommy cod and eel. So it was a healthy, it was a little bit of paradise. In fact, some of the best artists in the late 1800s came here, and they made a part of the island they called, which was near Indian Beach, they called it the Garden of Eden. I know they used to come here, and the blueberry fields, they would string the blueberries and have them go to powder. They would, you know, to get clams, and they would, there was a pond down the end of the island that they would put hides and stuff in the fall, so it would freeze and thaw and freeze and thaw, and then they'd come and do their hides after the multiple freezing and thawing and the salt water coming in over that pond. And we weren't, at that, in my time, we weren't supposed to be swimming in it, and they said, oh, they used it for cleaning hides, and then they used it for, they blamed it being the pond that people got caught polio in. But my grandfather's time, they said they often kept their hides there to freeze and thaw anything they couldn't finish, and apparently it made the hides easier to work with. And they would just open the pond up and drain it and pick up the hides in the very early spring, and do a lot of hide work. So the older women were, you know, busy doing things like that.